At issue, according to a law enforcement official familiar with the case, is a phone call that an ex-girlfriend of Congressman Matt Gaetz was having with another young woman. During that call, the official said, the ex-girlfriend conferenced in Gaetz. And because that other young woman is a potential witness in a federal investigation of whether Gaetz was illegally involved in relations with underage women, federal investigators are looking at whether the phone call could amount to obstruction of justice, an attempt to influence a potential witness.
If someone tries to keep a witness from talking to law enforcement or tries to get them to change their story, that's the kind of conduct that can be obstruction of justice.
A spokesman for the congressman says he pursues justice. He doesn't obstruct it. After 2 months, the statement says there is still not a single on-the-record accusation of misconduct, and now the story is changing again. A Gaetz friend, former Florida tax official Joel Greenberg, pleaded guilty last month to sex trafficking of a minor and has pledged to cooperate fully with investigators looking at whether Gaetz was involved in similar conduct. He has not been charged with any crime and has denied all the allegations. Pete Williams, NBC News, Washington.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.